Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list update type videos. I am kind of rushing through this right now because my computer again is on its last legs and I've already tried to record this once and it completely crashed the entire thing. So we are currently jumping right back in. So this will cover the week of April the 29th through May the 5th of 2025. So let's quickly jump on into our trophy progress. I just wanted to quickly say that Division 2 of all games is supposedly getting another DLC. Now, I don't know if it's going to have trophies or not, because I think they've done, like, yearly updates and stuff, so I don't know if they're going to do another, like, actual trophy-based update to it, but there's a very real possibility we might have to be going back to that game, which, I mean, I'm not mad about. I like the Division 2, but it's just going to be weird having to go back to it. Otherwise, no progress on Sly 3, of course. This past week was busy with other stuff, and then, of course, jury duty has not been a fun time. I got definitely a couple things I can say about that on the next live stream. Alongside that, this is probably the final video that will be recorded on my old laptop because, quite frankly, it has been dying for a couple of weeks now, and FedEx is too stupid and incompetent to actually get my laptop here that I ordered, despite the fact that I told them what to do, and they showed up on Friday of last week, but it needed to have a signature, which they never told me was necessary. And they show up at 11 in the morning on a weekday when most normal people are at work, so that was wonderful. And then after that, they take over 3 days and they still don't have it at a drop-off point 20 miles away because they are incompetent, stupid butts. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about trophy progress. College Football 25, so only one trophy was earned this week. It was the Moving On Up trophy. This trophy is a big pain in the butt in the modern day because it's mostly the fact that the game is full of tryhards and hackers and stuff like that at this point. And it's really unfortunate because it would have been more fun otherwise. This was probably a lot easier back when the game first came out. But nowadays, it's so full of those types of players that it becomes a lot more difficult to do. Now, getting to freshman requires you to win about 3 games in the season if you're playing as a Tier 5 team. Because if you play as a Tier 3 team, the trophy guide is completely wrong about this game on a lot of places, by the way, so I wouldn't trust the PSN Profiles guide. It says that if you play as a Tier 3 team, you won't lose spots if you lose a game. That is completely wrong. You will lose spots if you lose to a lower ranked team. I would recommend playing as a Tier 5 team if you're trying to go for this legitimately, because then you can't lose spots no matter what, because that's the lowest tier. But I was able to boost this with someone from PSN Profiles, thankfully, and basically what we did was we would have him be a Tier either 1 or 2, and I would be a Tier 4 or 5, and we would search for those specific tiers, knowing which team we were each playing as. And as long as we did that, normally we'd be able to match up pretty quickly. Now, I only had 4 games left in my season, and I was already pretty low ranked. So I just won those 4 games. I would have him, quit out after doing 1 play. And it would get me that level up and get me that trophy at the end of the season. So thankfully, I was able to knock it out that way. You would also get this What an Upset trophy along the way with that. But the stupid thing is that once you advance to freshman, you can no longer play against those, bottom tier enemies or just other players, which is really dumb. It made it impossible to fully boost the game, which I wasn't expecting that. I think he went off and did it with someone else afterward, thankfully. But just the fact that it's you can't play against those lower ranked teams now is just kind of a weird thing. But anyways, all that's left of this game is the stuff for the College Football Playoff National Championship and Heisman, which Cade does not currently look like he's going to win the Heisman in my current run of this game, but you never know. I did do 3 games in this game mode in the final stream I did on my old laptop, which I'm recording this video on. Hopefully, again, it's the final video I record anything on with this laptop. But I was able to get through 3 games, and it was hilarious because my team lost to App State during a simulation, which was kind of hilarious. But alongside that, hopefully I can knock this out in the next stream. I mean, I can't do it with the old computer because it literally doesn't work well enough to make that possible. So, yeah, next stream of college football, we should get the platinum, and it should be the final, or it'll probably be like one of the first streams on the new laptop, actually, which is pretty exciting once it eventually gets here, as long as FedEx didn't fuck it up and break it in the process. Next up, PJ Masks' Heroes of the Night. This is a children's title, and it plays very much like the old Paw Patrol games that I've done a couple of. It's a very easy overall platinum trophy, but it is very, very boring. It's one of the most boring children's games I've played, which is really saying something, because every single level is literally identical. You have the first half of the level is a 3-lane runner, and it's the same every single time pretty much. And then you have a side-scrolling section with platforming and stuff in it that is literally just another... It's identical every single level. And then at the end of each level, you have a 3 quick-time event button-pressing event to finish off the game. It's really, really boring. It's not an interesting game in the slightest. And also, the collectibles do not carry over between playthroughs. So you have to get all the collectibles in a single run of each level, which is kind of annoying and probably would be a little bit of a turn-off for people that are, younger children or something that are playing this game. So to get the Platinum Trophy, you have to find all the amulets in all 16 levels. They're divided into 4 different areas, though they are not equal. Like, each area is not 4 total levels. City is like half the levels in the game. So you have to find all the amulets. There is 1 per character for each level, so 3 total per level. They're just like those, pop, or whatever they were called, the, dog tags or something in the Paw Patrol games. I think that's what it was. And then you have to get a diorama in gold, which requires you to find all of the collectibles in a single level. So that is 200 of the gems, as well as the 3 amulets in any single level. And then you have to get a gold diorama in all 16 levels, which again is going to just require you to find all 200 of the gems and all 3 of the amulets on each of the 16 levels. Nothing really particularly difficult about this, but like I said, the game is just so boring. It's not a fun experience. I would not recommend this one unless you have a kid that's playing it for you and getting the platinum for you. And then just 1 final trophy for finishing all of the levels in the game, so pretty self-explanatory there. I am actually having to divide this trophy update pretty much into 2 different portions that I'm recording separately, or else my entire computer will probably crash. Anyways, the last game is LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. I've been making some very solid progress on the PS4 version of the game. I am probably through about 90-ish of the gold bricks at this point. So at this point, I think I finished everything in the first 2 movies. And then for the third movie, I want to say the first 3 levels and maybe 1 other level are all 100% complete. So just maybe 2 levels left plus Super Story. I got through Super Story for episode 5 a lot faster than I was expecting. I got through it definitely faster than I did on the PS5 version, which is pretty awesome. So really just a handful of gold bricks left in episode 6, so I could very well finish this game during this next upcoming week. And then the ghost character I can get once we have the stud fountain going. I think I have both the ×2 and ×4 stud multipliers now, so hopefully some of that stuff will go faster. I also managed to get the 6 million studs at one time, which is required to be able to get the ×4 stud multiplier, which stacks with the ×2. So, yeah, otherwise, have not done episode 3, Darth Vader in story mode. Probably going to save that for the last trophy again. Purchase all the characters is going to take a little while because it is obviously expensive, so I want to get up to that 4 billion studs first. Purchasing all the vehicles, though, I did already go ahead and knock that out because they're fairly cheap overall. And then the 4 billion studs at one time is going to be one of the later trophies that we get. But yeah, I'm about at 90-ish gold bricks out of the 99, so getting pretty close to being done with LEGO Star Wars 2, which is definitely a good thing. Again, I love the game. I made that very clear when I did my recent trophy video for LEGO Star Wars 2, but I mean, it's going to be kind of nice to have this one done because it is kind of a grindier LEGO game just with the amount of studs you have to farm. Just with the economy in this game being kind of busted, it makes it a little bit more boring in that sense. Level 894, 13%, 30,204 total trophies, 867 platinums, 5,792 golds, 8,128 silvers, 15,417 bronzes. So, Plans for the upcoming week or weeks. Let's talk about this for a second. I would love to finish off Sly 3 and LEGO Star Wars and college football in the very near future. The Division 2 might actually be getting a random-ass DLC pack at this point, which would be really surprising, but it's not, the most surprising thing in the world, so we'll have to see about that. Otherwise, this week, the whole schedule is just really up in the air because FedEx completely screwed me over with my laptop getting shipped here, so hopefully by the time this video goes up, that laptop will be here, but honestly, I don't really trust them, and I honestly don't trust them to have not broken the damn thing, so we will see what happens when it eventually gets here. But once it does, hopefully I'll be able to start streaming again on, much better quality. I'm going to be moving up to, like a 32 or 64 RAM plus a 2 terabyte SSD hard drive, all that kind of good stuff. I don't fully understand what some of that stuff is, but Lizard Guy told me that my specs were pretty good. I think it's an i9 processor, 4070, which isn't quite the highest level, but still pretty good. So definitely excited for that to get here. And then, of course, I can hopefully get started on something like Oblivion to stream in the near future. Definitely excited to play that at some point. We have a lot of good games coming out, though, because we have Gears of War Remake or Remaster, the version for the PS5 that's coming out in, August. We have Ghost of Yotai, which comes out the day before my birthday, which I will not even be here to stream. GTA 6 is delayed to 2026, which I have honestly been telling you guys was going to happen for a long time. And it ended up happening. We've got College Football 26 coming out in, July. So, yeah, a lot of stuff to look forward to in the near future. Plus, of course, there's the Switch 2, but that is not going to be a day one purchase for me because I want to let them work out any of the major kinks and bugs to the system before I go and spend, $450 or whatever it is on that console plus $80 per game, because apparently that's going to be a common thing now, which kind of sucks. And also this week depends on jury duty, because I was able to get through Monday without getting summoned to a jury, but there's a very real possibility it could happen on Wednesday or Thursday, because for some reason they stuck me on a circuit court or something to where I have to be there potentially all week, which is completely stupid because it's indentured servitude. But again, that's something I will talk about on the next live stream. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't done so already. I know this was a very, very rushed video. It's just because old laptop is on its deathbed, and I wanted to make sure I could actually get the video to record and later upload by not being massive. So that's the entire reason for all of this. So thank you guys for being here, and see y'all hopefully later this week for some more content.